Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today with the Zoologist. Heck yeah. So, this is our magical case and we have two left. Two left. So, I just ended up trying the original Dodo from Zoologist, which unfortunately is discontinued, but you can still get samples elsewhere or find it secondhand. There are places where you can do that if you're interested. So I'm not gonna pick, I am gonna pick one. I'm not gonna do the mystery because I want to try the jackfruit version just because I have the other one still in my nose, which leaves the final one. We are down to one after today. That's right, but we'll talk about that next video. So this is going to be Dodo Jackfruit, and I don't really know why they ended up switching it. I guess I could do research during the break and see why, but sometimes they don't explain it. It is, they like to reformulate, and this is what it looks like. It's very similar to the old one. They basically just did the same one. Yeah, I don't really see a difference. So there you go. This will cost you $175 USD. And the sun sparkled across the rippling waves its morning dance upon the Indian Ocean, rousing the dodos from their carefree slumber. Yes. Ultimate evolution would betray them. But while it lasted, the dodos enjoyed an existence marked by ease and comfort. I know, I skipped a lot of it. I knew it was going to get all depressing. You could read up about it and hear about what happened. It's sad. In Zoologist, Dodo notes of jackfruit and bergamot border a winding path dappled with aromatic turmeric and pink pepper. So there you go. This one has jackfruit accord, bergamot, pink pepper, turmeric leaf, and the heart notes are lavender, geranium, orange flower, turmeric root, orris concrete, and base notes tonka, vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, and labdanum. Made in Canada, or you can buy it here in the US from other sites, or you can check online to see if they do serve your country, and that you can pick it up wherever you are in this beautiful world. So the notes of this one, though I couldn't get the original Dodo, there was a lot of contradiction. This one is very different. And then I noticed there's no cumin or basil. No. So this may be a fruitier experience, but I don't want to say that before I've tried it because yesterday was a bit of a shock. So here we go. Come on, you. Ooh, that was a nice hearty little. Ooh, ooh, okay. Ooh, it just sprayed out on my finger. It's gonna be bad if it's not great. Okay. Okay, so very different from the original Dodo. Very different. To be fair, I still get that brightness of the fir balsam, but there is no fir balsam in this. But I still get that sense of the original Dodo, where it's that green brightness at first. There was a feeling of a sharp, crisp scent cutting through, and that was the lime. It doesn't have that. So it doesn't have that same crisp freshness. I am getting that jackfruit, that very light. I do know jackfruit actually, but the very light fruitiness of it. It's interesting because when I first sprayed it, I was kind of like, oh, I know this scent. It very much reminds me of hairspray. Yeah, yeah, it does. It reminds me of hairspray a little bit, but a nice, clean, fresh, woodsy kind of hairspray. This is, whoa, a completely different scent than the original Dodo. Completely different. This one's actually really lovely. It's very fresh and clean. Yeah. It's fresh, clean, floral and fruity. with a little bit of the greenery in there. And I don't, like I said, when I read the notes, I kind of just rattle them off and then don't really pay attention to them. I'm trying to find where that greenery is coming through. It's really nice. And I don't really see it. Well, part of it is, okay, yeah, the sandalwood. I am getting that sandalwood, but it's just these beautiful floral, fruity, which is that jackfruit. I know that jackfruit coming through with the sandalwood, and you do get a little bit of that green, and I don't know what it is. And lavender, definitely lavender. Huh. I guess I'm confused by this one a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit confused by this one. I was nervous because of the original Dodo. I had heard certain things about it. The more I tried on the scents, you know, you would read things on various sites and then people would bring up various things. And I knew Dodo was a difficult one. This is not even the same scent. It really isn't. It took a very artistic piece that I think was very difficult to wear and made it a little bit more safe. It's just very safe and tropical. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's beautiful. I just don't know if it represents Dodo that well, if that makes sense. Like the other one, I feel like, I mean, I don't know what a Dodo smells like, but it smelled like what you'd expect from a bunch of birds in a certain area, you know, put together, and they're not necessarily smelling their best. I kind of got that from that. It brought up that picture. Well, this brings up more of a tropical kind of feel. And it has a certain scent to it, and it is driving me nuts that I can't pull that scent. I think it smells like Scotch tape. That's what it is. It's masking tape. Wallpaper. I'm getting that wallpaper scent again. I'm wondering if it's a certain flower profile that was in the other one too, and I don't remember which one it was that smelled like wallpaper. It had the same exact note. And the only reason I know what wallpaper smells like is because, in case you didn't watch the other video, is because apartment living, you know, you put up things on your walls and they have that peelable wallpaper, so you put it up and then you peel it off when you leave. I basically had to put that up in here. I didn't have to. I decided to do it because I like a little bit more wild decorations, and there's no way your landlord's going to let you have bright orange walls on this side and then light green elsewhere. So that's why I had to do it. So I have a certain smell that came with it when you put it up. And so that's the smell of this. It smells like wallpaper. Yeah, our temporary wallpaper. Yep, that's what it's maneuvered to. Interesting. So it started out kind of almost like fir balsam. I got that kind of scent with it that the original Dodo had, though it has no fur in it. And then it went into kind of like a tropical scent. And then it smells like wallpaper. And I think part of it is it's the floral mixed with the lavender is creating that scent profile. I think that's what it is. It's the lavender mixing with one of the florals to create wallpaper. Yeah. Okay, so on the shirt, it's the same thing. I'm getting a little bit of that wallpaper, but I'm getting the florals mixing together. Yep, the florals are coming together. And it's interesting because I'm having a hard time pulling out specific notes of the floral. I'm not really getting the geranium. But maybe it's the orange flower because I do recognize orange blossom normally, but it doesn't really smell like it. It's interesting because a lot of this is pulling so close together, or like it. What I will say is the blend on this is really great because I could pick out notes originally, but now everything's kind of like this, so I'm struggling to find it. It's just that wallpaper that. With a little bit of like floral and lavender. Very interesting. So this one's very light in comparison to Dodo that filled the room and punched you in the face with scent and you were like, ooh, you know, it was a KO. This one is a lot more, it is like this with the space bubble from what I can tell, but it's not overwhelming. Where Dodo, I think if you wore that, people would be going, whoa. This has that same kind of power, but because the notes are lighter, the scent isn't as invasive as maybe the original Dodo was. Yeah, this one definitely is a lot safer though, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I was worried about this one, but these are completely two different scent profiles. Completely different scent profiles. So just know that, you know, this is not, if you're looking for an alternative to Dodo, or you think that Dodo's been updated just a tad bit, a little bit of tweaks here and there, two completely scent profiles. Yeah, that one was a whole different thing. So yeah, so we'll talk about that at the end of the video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an hour break, let it sit a little, see how the wallpaper's going, and we'll see where it goes, because I'm curious. This one's morphing quite a bit. Okay, so it has been an hour, and I feel like this one has really settled, and I'm still, every time I move around, I sense this one in the bubble. So this has good well, I'm not going to say longevity if it's only been an hour, but it has power to it. Very different than the power of the original Dodo. So very different. But these are two completely different creatures. I can't even believe they're under the same name, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't get bird from this at all. But you know, that's okay. So we'll talk about that at the end, my thoughts on this. But what I'm really getting from this is very much lavender. Lavender and jackfruit. And the rest of the notes, you know, maybe they're combined in so well that I'm having a hard time pulling them out. But there's definitely that powdery, there's a powderiness to it, which could be from the orris. So it's like a powdered lavender jackfruit is what I'm getting. And it's very lovely. They go together well. It really is blended quite well. But I don't mind lavender. It's just lavender isn't a scent that I necessarily go out of my way to use. It's beautiful, but it's not really, I think of it more as very clean. And so it's something like when you're cleaning your apartment or something, that you have something with lavender in it. And that's what this makes this scent. It's a very clean, happy, safe scent, uplifting even. It's very safe. It's very clean. It's very fresh. And that's why it's interesting, because it completely contrasts with the original vision. So it's just strange that the two visions are completely out here. It's just kind of, But you know, who knows where to go. And me saying, by the way, if you love lavender and jackfruit, you're going to love this. You'll be going, you're crazy. It's fantastic. And it would be for you. Absolutely. And I do think it's beautiful. I'm just, I don't know. It's just kind of there. But it is lovely. I just keep getting that lavender. Just got it now. Every time I move, I'm like, it's lavender time. So we'll see where this goes in 4 hours, because I'm curious to see if some of the other notes slowly creep up, because sometimes they do with zoologists. So we'll check back in. Okay, so the nice thing about spring is it stays light all day. I love this. It's fantastic. So we have made it to 5 hours, and honestly, this one's still there. This one projects decently, and it also has decent longevity. So I know some people, like sometimes with the zoologist, sometimes it can be a mixed bag when it comes to longevity, which, you know, can be disappointing, especially when you're paying that much for a perfume. With this one, you don't have to worry about that. It's going to stay with you, at least on my chemistry it did, and my body tends to eat fragrances, so it was really nice. It still has a nice bubble. It stays like around here right now, so it's not really going to bug anyone, and I only did 2 sprays, so maybe if you did more, it would project a little bit more, but it's kind of a nice little personal scent, in that the notes are never really that heavy that it's going to make somebody go, you know, like with honey or bee, they can be a little bit strong, or camel or sacred scarab. Those ones tend to have a like decent projection, but they can, the notes I think can be a little bit more, I don't know, people are going to have opinions. They really are. With this one, well, I do know people who don't like lavender, but for the most part, people don't tend to find that difficult. So the notes are very nice, very gentle, very soothing. Actually, I find this would be a really good nighttime scent if you wear scent to bed, because it's very relaxing. Very relaxing. It's that lavender, it's that jackfruit. Let's see the other ones. Let's see it's at. Yeah, it's a lavender jackfruit. It's very gentle. It's very gentle. But let's try it here to see how it smells on the fabric. Here, ooh, here it's nice. You get that blossom, the orange like flower. You do get that. There's a floral note to this. So it's lavender and floral and a little bit of jackfruit. Just two different beasts. This one's sweeter. On the shirt, it's sweeter and more floral. While this is more mellow. The bitter note is gone and it's just mostly lavender with a little bit of jackfruit. But it's really nice. They're both really nice. I like it. I do like it. So let's talk about it though. We have been talking about it, but let's talk about it as far as, here's the thing. It is a beautiful, beautiful scent. It is very relaxing. It is very calming. This is something that I could see people liking. It's very safe. We'll put it that way. Now, I don't wear lavender a lot, so I don't know if this is one that I would wear a lot. Maybe I'd revisit it once or twice a year and go, okay, I remember this. It's very calming and beautiful, and it is. But I just don't tend to gravitate towards lavender scents personally. Personal preference, but it's beautiful. So if you like that and a light floral on top of that, you may want to try a sample and see if it works the same on your chemistry as it does on mine. So we're all different. Yay, and it's a beautiful thing. So I will say I do find for zoologists this to be a bit on the safe side for me. I think what makes zoologist fun is there's nothing quite like it out there. It really is. You either love or hate it, I find. But that being said, this one's very lovely. I just feel that it's very safe. And from my understanding, Dodo was changed 3 times. There was the initial one, which I've never smelled, and then the one that was reformulated in, I think, 2020. And then this is its final incarnation, or at this time. I didn't smell the original, just this one. This is the one that was on the website recently and was just pulled because the last bottle was sold. That one was interesting. That one was a piece of art. I'll link the video to that above if you have not seen it. And when I mean art doesn't always mean appealing. So, this isn't Monet's water lilies. Okay, this isn't that. Where it's like, oh, okay. Though some people don't get it. But it's not like that. It's not like Starry Night, where most people are like, oh, no, the original, not the original, but the Dodo from 2020 was, it was more of that. You go into a very modern art house like MoMA, and there's a furry spoon and cup, or something that's up there. I've been there. This is how I know it. With the black background, it says 1979, and this is of an art gallery. You're kind of like, okay. Now, some may question why. That's kind of what Dodo was. It's like, why? A little bit. Yes, some may question that. I myself kind of questioned it. But to be fair, I really like the artistry of this, or of Dodo 2020. It really represented stanky birds. It really did. It was stanky. It was skunky. It was just really skunky. And it's like a bunch of birds are like stuck in an area and they've been eating in there. Yum, 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 yum. It's their little hangout. And the leftover food bits and whatever are there. And it doesn't smell so great. That's what that smelled like. It did not smell so great. But I really appreciated what it brought about. With this one, it's just very safe. It's lavender and jackfruit. I really don't get any animal from this. I get more of a relaxing spa with maybe bird calls in the background, but I don't know what a dodo sounds like, so there you go. And I don't know if most would because they are gone. But I just don't know if this represents the bird. Like the other one I understood, the stank of bird. I got that. Like if you've seen a nest after they leave, or like owls that have been in little boxes, and once they leave and all their leftovers are there and have been sitting there in the sun, it stinks. It's not pleasant. And that is what that represented. With this, it's like going into a beautiful spa and you're getting a massage and it's just, that's it. And so for me, I feel like this might be a little bit too safe for dodo. I don't really see how lavender and jackfruit really represents dodo. Maybe I'm just missing the connection a little bit, but to me, it just feels a little bit safe. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It really isn't. And I think it's actually really pleasant. That being said, it's really pleasant. I just feel that you can see that the change was made because the other one wasn't doing well, most likely because you can go too far with artistry, and that's great. Maybe not too far, but the problem is if you can't make money off of it in any way, shape, or form, then you wouldn't keep making batches of something that's just constantly going to sit there. And so I get it from a financial perspective, because yes, Zoologist is a great house, but there's also money to be made. You can't be doing this on that scale as just a hobby. So I completely get it, but I feel like this one falls under the safe category and not necessarily representing the bird as much as I would like. So there you go. That's just me. That being said, if I were going to give it a score, 1 to 10, I would definitely give this a 6 because it is pleasant. It's just the issue too is that it doesn't have a lot of complexity. It's very, not one note because there are more than one notes, but it tends to be, this is what it is and this is what it stays after the initial hour. It just doesn't take you on that same journey that Dodo did. Ooh. Dodo Jackfruit takes you on a short journey and keeps you there. It's like, oh, I like this. Let's stay the week. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that journey. I like that journey sometimes. We all, we all do. So that's okay. It's a staycation. Okay, we're not going to Paris this year. So fine. But yeah, I feel like it's a good scent. I was really worried about it because of the things I had heard of the rumblings about Dodo. And it's like this has fixed that issue. But I just think maybe it fixed it a bit too much. Because I like a little bit, things being a little bit more experimental, but it's not my money being put into it. So I get it. You know what I mean? It's not my company. So I get it. But yeah, so that is Dodo Jackfruit edition. Woo. Yes, so we're down to one. McKay. Is it McKay? McKay? I'm going to research that. McKay. Tomato. Yes, so I have one left. And that is it. And we will be discussing that next. That's it. This is the Fuji one. This is the Apple one, from my understanding. And this is it. Remember when this was filled to the brim and I had the bigger box and I was filling it up with everything? Do you remember that? We have made it through 30 some odd fragrances. And so what we will do is we will discuss this and then we will talk about what we're going to be doing next. Yeah, because we're going to be moving on to a new line soon. And yeah, so there you go. Good times. And with that, have a wonderful day, my friends. Bye.